So there are two types of attentional focus, internal and external. Internal focus is where you ask the participant or whoever you're coaching or teaching to focus their attention on their body movements themselves. So for example, if they were throwing darts, you would tell them to focus on their arms or their wrists, to focus on their stance, or to focus on keeping their feet still. And it has been found that internal focus is detrimental for both practice and retention. So I found a paper about motor learning with patients with Parkinson's disease. So Parkinson's disease makes the patients shaky, it causes stiffness, poor balance, and poor coordination. So for this study, they had 24 patients, 12 were given internal focus of attention cues, and 12 were given external focus of attention cues. And their task was to throw darts at a target. So for the internal group, they were told to focus on their upper extremity joints, and the external group was told to focus on the target, the dart, and the dart course. Overall, the external group had less error in acquisition and transfer, so they had more accuracy. In the transfer, they added 1 meter to the length of from where they were throwing to the target, and again, the external group just performed better. And the main finding of this paper was that external focus of attention is better for Parkinson's disease patients to learn motor skills.
The next type of attentional focus that we'll be talking about today is external focus. External focus is when you direct attention to the effects of movements on apparatus or implement. An example of this in this drawing will be if the thrower is focusing their attention on the flight of the discus. In golf, the example would be if the golfer is focusing his attention on the swing of the club instead of the motions of his arm. In basketball, an example of this will be if the shooter is focusing on the basket when shooting. Benefits of external focus include more effective motor coordination and movement outcomes, increased retention of learning, and it can help enhance learning complex. This paper by Gabriel Wolf shows how external focus of attention enhances golf shot accuracy in beginners and in experts. This study consisted of 2 experiments. In the first experiment, there were 30 participants with little to no golfing experience split into 3 groups. The task for these participants was to hit golf balls into a circular target. Results from this experiment showed that participants in the external focus group tended to demonstrate greater accuracy compared to other groups. In the second experiment, there were 6 expert golfers who performed under all conditions, control, internal focus, and external focus. The task was similar, but the radius of the circular target was 25 centimeters. Results from this experiment showed that participants recorded their higher scores when performing under external focus conditions.
So there's a lot of literature that supports why external is more beneficial compared to internal. This is because internal focus allows for an improvement in motor control and movement outcome. There's also an increase in retention of learning, leading to an improvement of performance. These benefits can be used across different tasks, skill levels, age groups, and level of ability. Internal focus increases the attentional demand by focusing on the task being performed, where external reduces the attention demands because it looks at the outcome of the task. In the study Automaticity of Complex Motor Skills Learning as a Function of Attentional Focus, they designed a study to determine the effects of different attentional focus on motor skills. They had 28 participants stand on a platform with the task of remaining balanced for as long as possible during each trial. They also added a second task where the participants had a handheld response button and listen to the tone coming from the computer to test their reaction time. They recorded reaction time as a measurement of attentional demands needed for external compared to internal focus. They found that internal focus of attention conditions resulted in an increase of balanced performance, increased frequency of responding, and decreased attention demands compared to internal focus. The research experiment also supported the hypothesis that attentional focus manipulation to be effective as a certain degree of the difficulty of a task